Hello and welcome to 7 for 12 with me, Steve Harmison and John Norman. We're here after every day's play of the English summer. T20 so far against Pakistan. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Another fantastic day of T20 cricket up in Leeds. Sun absolutely belting out. It's been roasting in the northeast of England. Not a cloud in the sky. John Norman's been at the game. The atmosphere looked amazing again, just like Trent Bridge. England this time just too good with the bat.
Yeah, absolutely, Harmy. It's been sweltering here, more like Karachi than Headingley. But yeah, we go to Old Trafford, one apiece with one to play. Another really entertaining game of T20 cricket. England posting another 200 score, exactly 200. Second game in a row, but for the second game in a row they were bowled out inside their 20 overs as well. Jos Buttler coming in as standing skipper. Owen Morgan at one stage running the drinks. That was a bit weird. Not that he was running the drinks, the fact that he dropped himself. And then Liam Livingstone. You know, we talked a lot about him, but if there's one thing I'm going to remember from this match, it's the six that disappeared over the stand behind me into the rugby ground. So that was incredible. And then when Pakistan came out to bat, I think they got it wrong. It seemed to me they were playing the numbers game. They were very defensive in the power play. I think they were leaving themselves room to go. They were thinking 10 and over, we can do that. And then England's spinners came to the fore, nipped out 3 or 4 quick wickets. Pakistan had nowhere to go. So we head to Old Trafford, one apiece with one to play. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, the way Butler came out with the bat for me was sensational. I was surprised. I'm not sure about you, but I was very surprised at the toss. Pakistan win the toss, and they don't bat first. They're getting 232 on the board in the first game, and they didn't bat first. I was very, very surprised that they didn't go on and try and put pressure on England and get runs on the board. I just think Pakistan at this minute in time, or maybe it's 1-2 players short in that middle order that England have got that Pakistan haven't got, and that's why they don't go hard up front. I think a lot of pressure on Babar Azam and Fakhar Zaman in the middle to come in and score the majority of the runs. And I think we've just seen two sides. One side that is right at the top of their game, one of the best T20 sides in the world, even though they've made changes in England, against a Pakistan team who are trying to find a formula to get them in a position to score runs in the T20 World Cup. So I thought Butler was amazing. Livingstone was explosive again until he ran himself out. And England, I thought, were very, very good. Professional with the ball, bowling into the pitch as opposed to bowling full, because the size of the grounds were a lot different to what they were at Trent Bridge. So I thought England played smart cricket, used their head, and were deserved winners.
Yeah, I think there's plenty that comes out of this game of interest. The fact that Morgan didn't play. Now, there was quite a lot of chat coming into this game about his poor run of form, so he didn't pick himself, which was a surprise. The fact that they did bring back some of their big guns, Jos Buttler, Chris Jordan and Adil Rashid, 3 of the first names on the team sheet over the last 5 years or so. And that proved to be the difference. Jordan scored some useful runs. He only bowled 1 over, but Butler's innings, a touch of class about it. And he was there for the first 13 overs as well, so had that steadying presence. But Pakistan, I think, as I mentioned, they were too defensive. They swung when they batted. They were too defensive by deciding to bowl first. But credit to England, they got some real turnout there. Parkinson in particular, he got a bit of tap in his last 2 overs at Trent Bridge, but he was beating the batsman at will at times.
Yeah, I thought Parkinson bowled well. I thought Moeen Ali bowled well. I thought Rashid was Rashid. It's the way Adil's been over the course of the last 8-9 years in white ball cricket. He's been a go-to man for Owen Morgan. He's probably been his trusted lieutenant over the course of this great form that England have had. Adil Rashid's really blossomed in that relationship. So again, I go back to what I said earlier. I think it was a professional performance on a ground which England knew the dynamics, the size of the ground, the pockets in each corner. I think England knew what areas to bowl at, balls they wanted to be hit into. Jos Buttler, I thought, was excellent in his field positions and his bowling changes. The first 4 overs were bowled by different people. Chris Jordan didn't bowl. He only really bowled 1 over, got a bit of tap. I think what it showed is Chris Jordan's not comfortable bowling the power play at the start power play, but comfortable at the end. And I think it was nice for England to have that luxury of being able to have a look at Mahmood and Tom Curran rather than just chucking the ball at Chris Jordan, because you know what Jordan can do. You're right. I think you're right. I think Jordan is in the T20 World Cup squad. So I give England a chance to have a look at some of these guys under pressure against, teams they're going to play against in competition at pressurized situations, because it was, the atmosphere sounded as good as whatever it is. The Western Terrace looked as though they were a bit of fun. And we got to see Mahmood bowling at the end. We got to see Curran bowling at the end. And I thought they did the job very, very well. It was a professional performance by England. And I think when it comes down to it, I think the gulf in class, even though it just shows you, if you get on a roll in 2020 cricket, it's very, very difficult to stop that steam train going. Pakistan had that role on that momentum on the first T20. And I just wonder that toss. I still go back to the toss. Go in, bat first after you're just getting 232, and go and put runs on the board, and you really put pressure back on into England. But I was very, very happy the way some of the young guns and the players who haven't had a chance to showcase got a chance, and they performed very, very well. Another massive headache for England when it comes to picking and selecting a squad that's going to go to a World Cup.
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, the crowd is still going crazy. Hang on. It's brilliant. The Pakistani fans are still down there. They're loving it. Do you know what as well? I say this about the Pakistani cricket fans. Indian fans are the same as well when they turn up. Bangladesh, of course, as well. But I think they make the England fans kind of raise their game as well. Because for a lot of this their first innings, although England scored 200 and it's a great score, it was the Pakistani fans who were making a lot more of the noise. So then when England started taking wickets themselves, you could see the English fans going, we've had enough of this, we're going to start giving it as well. All in a positive manner, I might add. But by the end, this place is absolutely heaving. Let's have a quick look at something that was of interest. Could you talk about the Pakistani batting lineup and the fact that they don't have a lot of strength coming in? I think both England and Pakistan, I'm not sure they quite got it right today, because I can't see how Bairstow comes in at 5 or 6. And similarly, what is Zaman coming in at 4? It seems to me that maybe he should be opening with Babar Azam or possibly with Rizwan. Then Babar Azam comes in at 3. Maqsood looks a couple of positions too high. And Hafiz is at one side of his career with Azam Khan at completely the other. It's putting a hell of a lot of pressure on the middle order, as you say. But that's the 4th innings in a row that Milan's been out for. He's basically scored 2 runs in 4 international innings. And there is, silly to say, but there is pressure on him, especially when you've got Stokes coming back. Morgan's got to get in that team as well. And Bairstow's being pushed down to 6. The options are there. It's just a question of what England do with it.
Yeah, the options are there. I think both sides are obviously looking to size each other's, from an individual point of view, size each other's squad up. What sort of situation are we going to play in? Because you've got to remember as well, in the UAE, they're going to be surfaces are going to be a lot different to what we've had in the first T20 and what we've had at Henley. It's going to be more different to what we're going to get at Old Trafford. Even though I watched the Yorkshire-Lancashire game the other day, and that was more of a sort of slow, turgid wicket, which would, if I was England, I'd be tempted to try and play on something like that, just to get my batters used to and my bowlers used to playing on the surface like that, because that's what they're going to get in come the UAE. But it just seems as though they're trying to sort of find a formula with their sides, and maybe possibly just having a look at other people in different roles. And a prime example is Johnny Bairstow. They want to have a good look at Liam Livingstone. We know what Johnny can do. We know Johnny's probably going to bat at number 4 in the World T20 squad, with either a Milan at 3 or a Stokes at 3, with Morgan at 5 and a Livingstone or a Stokes at 6. It depends on how Milan goes. I go back to what I've been saying about Joe Root in recent times. And Milan was always the vulnerable one. But I think we have to be careful as well. Maybe it's contradicting what I've been saying for the last few weeks. Milan is the world's T20's best player. The numbers are ridiculous. And even though he's had a couple of low scores, it doesn't mean he's a bad player. So, for me, I think England will stick by him. I think just England are trying to find a way into a competition where they're giving everybody a chance to showcase and fight for their players, and also be flexible, because there could be a time where in the World T20 that England get off to a ridiculously quick start with Butler and Roy. Stokes goes in at 3. Then potentially Livingstone goes in above Bairstow, and then Bairstow might have to bat a little bit further down. I think these are just little game situations that England are trying to play for. I'm not sure what Pakistan are trying to do with that. I think they're better off just going, right, this is our best team. This is where we need to go. But I agree. I think Fakhar Zaman going in at number 1 alongside Rizwan and Babar Azam number 3, I think that would be a better balance for me if I was a Pakistan fan wanting that, because I think it just gives my best player. I'm not going to lose my best player in the first couple of overs to an absolute beauty in English conditions or any conditions where the ball's moving. And then all of a sudden he gets 18 overs to bat the game. So especially when you haven't got the depth that Pakistan have got. So I think there's food for thought there for both camps.
Okay, Harmy, so 2 moments of the day, one for England, one for Pakistan. I'll start off, and I am going to talk about Liam Livingstone because, so you can see behind me, the batsman had his back to me, and you know when you see a big 6 from behind, you essentially look for cues because, of course, the ball goes high in the air, you then lose it, and what you're watching for is a little pocket in the crowd to kind of stand up to try and catch the ball. With that one, I watched the shot, the ball went up into the air, went towards the stand, and then I stood there waiting for that little pocket of fans to stand up to catch the ball. They didn't stand up because it went straight over the top of the stand. And you know when you see something, you think, did I actually see that happen? I had to watch it on the TV 5 times because, of course, even the TV loses it as well, till I realised he had actually cleared the stand. And I think I'm right in saying this. I'm not sure you were watching it as well. I'm actually here. I'm not following Sky. But they tried to measure the distance of the 6.
Yeah, they couldn't measure
it. They couldn't measure it. So
Wardy was flabbergasted. Wardy, again, you said you watched it 5 times. Wardy commentated on it 5 times. Wardy couldn't believe what he had just witnessed. Yeah, 5 times. It was a mesmerizing thing. It was like something had happened that nobody could believe, and then when you seen it slowed down, it did it. It was huge. Absolutely. You're right though. You're waiting for a pocket of people to jump and catch it, and then everybody else is just like they're all looking at it, and it's like Rosette's still looking at it. Yeah. And when that's as good a hit as you'll see, that's a big stand now. And I was in that stand. I was in that hospitality area 2 Christmases ago. I remember doing a Christmas lunch there. It is a great, honestly, Headingley now is a beautiful ground. They all are, to be fair. But it's a great place to watch the game of cricket from now. And when the ball went over the top, I was like, that is massive. And actually, when he first hit it, I didn't think he had got it because he hit 2 balls later, which went flat, and he was looking at the bottom of his bat, and it was a great hit by a man in form.
Yeah, absolutely.
What form he's in.
Absolutely, and there was a really telling little passage of play as well, because of course with the World Cup in the UAE, Livingstone's played some PSL in the UAE. There was a fascinating period of play when Shadab Khan essentially was trying to hide the ball. He was throwing it so wide, and he did get wide on a couple of occasions. He didn't want that ball anywhere near the batsman, and it was fascinating to see because of course Shadab Khan is an experienced guy. These two may have come up against each other in the PSL, but such is his dominance as a batsman. Shadab Khan was doing everything he possibly could just to get it out there and away from him. And actually, he did a pretty good job. But they're my moments of the game. What about yourself?
I think the moment for me was right at the start. Josh Butler walking out, tossing the coin. I think that's the moment.
That's the moment. By surprise.
Shows that, yes, it was a surprise. It just shows you how good this England side are and the strength and depth they are. Owen Morgan is a fantastic captain. Don't get me wrong. He is a fantastic captain, and he's one of the best captains that we've ever had. But it just shows you the side we've got and the strength and depth we've got, because not only can Owen Morgan miss a game, and England can win that way, with Josh Butler in charge and Ben Stokes in charge of the ODI side, shows the pool and the talent we've got. That was a big moment for me. And from a Pakistan point of view, another guy stood up, Shashin Afridi. I thought he stood up brilliantly throughout these whole 4 overs. So if we're picking somebody from a Pakistan point of view, and two, it's not so much a moment, but we're talking about Pakistan players turning up. I think the Afridi's been very, very good in this series, and England and Pakistan are going to need them at Old Trafford, because I think what we're going to see at Old Trafford is, hopefully, I would like to see a wicket which is a little bit slower, a little bit turgid, a little bit worn, because that for me would be a good practice for England going to the UAE. The last T20 England player in this sort of pocket of games, and a good preparation for the World T20 would to be played on a pitch like Yorkshire and Lancashire played on the other night, which would bring Pakistan into play because it'll be closer than their home conditions than it would be ours. And I think that would be a good test for England going forward.
Well, nicely brought on to that third T20. Just to sum up the show, what changes do you think England will make? We did say that Pakistan would be unchanged. They were. Do you think they'll go three for three? And do you expect Owen Morgan to come back? Do you expect Mahmood to play another game? Because we thought he might be rested for this one. How do you think England are going to go?
I think Morgan comes back. I think Morgan does come back. I think we'll go back. I think we might revert back to the type batting unit. I can see Morgan slipping back in there I don't know. We might see Livingstone at 3. We might see Roy and Butler. Livingstone at 3. Milan 3. Livingstone at 4. Morgan 5. Bairstow might bat at number 6. And then it's whether Moeen Ali stays in the side. I'd like to see Moeen stay in the side. If we play on a pitch which is a bit worn, we might need the 3 spinners again. Looking forward to the UAE. So I can see only minimal changes. I think Owen Morgan might come in for somebody like a Tom Curran, or possibly they might give Mahmood a break. But if it's at Lancashire, you'd want to possibly play the homeboys. So Mahmood might just play the third T20 alongside Parkinson, and it might be Tom Curran that comes out, because I think England were maybe a bowler heavy in this game. So we might just see one change. I think we might just see Owen Morgan come in, and we might see one of the bowlers drop out to try and make England's batting even stronger.
Brilliant stuff, Harmy. We'll be back here on 7 for 12 following that third T20. I'll be at Old Trafford. Harmy will be on his chair. And we'll look back and do a full series review for the following on podcast as well. Harmy, chat to you then. And thanks for watching 7 for 12. Please like and subscribe.